All right. So let's see. Holy cow, there's a bunch of you guys. Time shift, buona noche. Michael Garrett, Jonathan Hicks, how you doing? Sean says he's in the house early tonight. Oh, I guess the TV's there. Let's see if we can fix that. There's my alarm to tell me to start the live stream. I beat it. Let's see here. Okay, well, we're still doing fine. I guess let's see if I do this. I don't know. Nope. TV's still too bright, but I can at least check and see if there's an issue. All right, so I tried to put that was Joe, Smoking Joe. He did this. So can you guys hear me okay? Let's see if I can catch up. Jonathan Higgs is 22 minutes. Sean, Victor, how you doing this evening? Source some wood for cooking. Yes, thank you, Mr. Hockett. Men talking about your favorite wood. So you started. How do we connect so I can get you out fishing? Oh wait, I guess you're talking to Mr. Hockett. Let's see. Be sure and hit that thumbs up button for me, please, and thank you, sir. All right, you know what, Eric from Baracha Barbecue. When I looked at that picture once, I saw it on the screen. It looks different for me. Like it's cropped in more for the picture, so it looks way different from when you guys or what you guys actually see to what I to take the picture of. But I usually try and edit it once it is up, and it'll usually be like me talking like with my hand like this, or me taking a drink or something. If only I could be so lucky. Caden, how you doing this evening, man? Smoking goodness. Chris Van Natta, how you doing? Tyrone, Luke Calamatis, hey yo, how you doing this evening? Sean, Mr. Zekram, is it Zekram? Loud and clear. All right, everybody can hear me just fine. One Mr. Tlong, watching from South Korea. Holy cow. What time is it there? So it's got to be what? 7, 8 o'clock in the morning there, maybe? Wow. Are you at work or something? Sitting at your desk like from South Korea. That's like, wow. Let's see. What do I know in Korean? I know some Korean. Crap. It's escaping me right now. I know a phrase or two in Korean. Twin Eats, how you doing this evening? Buona noche, todo bem? Brasileiro. Yes, I still have my RC car. I don't use it much. 10:02, okay. In the morning. I mean, I knew it was in the morning, but I guess I figured you were further behind or ahead. I don't know. Yes, I'm aware it's tomorrow in South Korea. Odessa, Texas. Where you guys checking in from? Ernest Fitzpatrick. I know we have Washington State. There's a couple of you guys out on the West Coast checking in. Eric, Baracho Barbecue. He's checking in from outside of Kansas City. Twin Eats, where you from? Mrs. Zekram, where you from? Christina Daniel. Hello. How are you doing? All right. GW Landing says Dallas. Time shift is in Brazil. Right? Where in Brazil are you? I'm pretty sure. I remember that. All right. Sean Hook says he's in Macon, Georgia. D. Mitchell says SoCal. Chris Van Natta. I don't know why I'm going to keep saying it that way, but I'm probably going to. Chris Van Natta is from Fort Worth. Another Heroes ST54. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're in Pittsburgh. Terry says he's in Iowa. Tastemaker. Let's see, Eric. I don't know. we gotta. I don't know. I did actually cook on it, but you saw that on Instagram. I filmed a video loosely, but I really kind of left it halfway. I didn't finish it. So I finished cooking the pork, but I didn't pull it. So I actually want to take and possibly make a video of me reheating the pork, because there's a lot of people who always ask, well, how do you do that? So I was contemplating making a video of me reheating it to actually, show how that works out. Questa J says, hey, yo! All right, definitely. Mr. Long says he's originally from Tennessee. All right. Dirty Jers, South Jersey is in the building. Smoke meat. Meigs, is it Meigs Tom Tom or Megs Tom Tom? Smokes meat in central Wisconsin. All right. Christina, Daniel. Christina, did we talk a week or two ago? Is that, I want to, I know I talked to someone from Atlanta, watching on my phone and the PlayStation 4. Well, that's what's up, Mr. Zekrom. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. Well, then I won't feel bad because there's 34 of you logged in and only 19 likes. So 33 of you logged in and only 19 likes. So if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you don't know, if you kind of turn the chat off for a moment, then you can see the thumbs up button. If you hit the thumbs up, I'd greatly appreciate it. Like I always say, it not only makes me feel better, it really does help these videos and my channel. So I'm just going to thank you guys in advance, and I'll remind you from time to time. But tonight, after we, a couple minutes to say hi to everybody, get reacquainted and get comfortable and all of those things, right? So, yes. Dirty Bone Barbecue, Idaho Falls, Idaho. One of my coworkers is from Idaho. I think his dad lives in Salmon, Idaho. But he grew up in Boise or around Boise. But he has family still, and obviously in Idaho. All right. Christina says, no, it wasn't me. All right. Well, fine. Darn. I thought I was trying to make a connection. Lou says, LOL, all I see on the TV is your beard moving. I wanted to kind of, let's see if I like figure it out a little bit. No.
Right. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Taste tester number 2. All right, what are you doing? Do it and then go back upstairs. All right, well, throw it away. Yeah. Come on, just throw it away. What are we drinking tonight so I can grab my cup? So tonight, I have a little bit of the high test from oh my gosh, from Jimmy down at Cuff and Stuff Barbecue. Okay, but he sent me some high test, so we got the high test going. I put 2 shots of the high test in here, and I have some Sprite because I know better than to just drink it straight. It's high test, it's high test. I won't even take more than a half a shot of it at a time. All right, let's see. Meeg. All right, Meegs. All right, well, let's see. Meegs, thank you for checking in. Alton, always a pleasure for you to come on and hang out. So he says, do. Hey, yo! All right. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Zekrom. I appreciate that. Mark Heller says, Hamburg, Pennsylvania. Where's Hamburg exactly? I feel like I know kind of where. Mark, Oh, I've seen signs for Hamburg. It's outside of Pittsburgh. Are you the one that just said you were from Pittsburgh? I'm trying to cheat and go back into the comments. Let's see. Nope, not another one. That was somebody else. Oh, I see Jimmy is here from Cuff and Stuff Barbecue. Let's see. Alton says smash that thumbs up for Dash. Appreciate that. Kind of hard to do, but amazing for a whole chicken. Besides that wood hookup here in Kansas City, for me is Woodyard Barbecue in Kansas City. Dinners, drive-ins, and dives, and Dash was it's diners, drive-ins, and Dash. Is there? Okay, but the was there, but the food was not so great. Any videos around the dubs you use? Always a good look. The dubs, what dubs? Oh, why would you do that, Alton? We got Juliet, Illinois checking in. Yeah, it's me on the TV. I took that from Smoking Joe. He has a TV in his garage, like right behind him, and I was like, well, let me see if I can get that to work. But the TV is too bright for yeah. So I could probably either have my face dimmed out, and then you could probably watch me on the TV. But then there's a delay. So like, let's see how long the delay is, and then you guys know how long the delay is for me when I say something to when you guys see it. But what's crazy, the comments come in more of a real time, so it's weird. It's one of those things it's really weird. Had to get used to. Terry says just had a double knee surgery last Thursday, so I haven't been cooking. Well, daggone, man. Speedy recovery there, sir. How do you keep your beard so safe from catching on fire around the pit? So typically my fires are indirect, but I did lose my beard on the first outdoor cook that I used that 5-foot grill, and I was rather upset. For a while, what was funny is some of the gray hairs were brown on the edges because they were burnt. Uh, so yes, cuffing stuff, Jimmy. If I didn't say hi, Tom Horseman, man, I feel like I got a celebrity in the household. Tom, how you doing? How you doing? All right. 30 minutes west of Allentown. I've been up in that area. I a while ago I was up there picking up a pinball machine or an arcade cabinet, and I was up in that area. So I'm like, it sounds familiar. Maybe I've seen signs for it. So last time we was on the stream dash, we got into the discussion about grilling and smoking. We finished. Alton. Anyway, so tonight we're going to be talking about sourcing cooking wood or sourcing wood for cooking. King Ingram checking in from Dallas was good. Pulled my pork barbecue. Good evening, everyone, he says. I enjoy a little Jim Beam, while throwing down some ribs, but not too much Jim Beam. So, Mr. Zikram, I can tell you from previous experience, and I actually have a video talking about drinking while cooking. I don't advise it. And I'd say, well, I don't advise it. If I'm cooking for myself, or if, usually I don't drink while I am cooking for someone. But if I'm cooking for myself, just cooking for my family, kind of doing like a relaxed cook, I might drink something. But when I'm getting paid to cook for someone else and I have someone else's food on the line, I learned early on that just don't do it. Just don't do it. Um, yeah. It's all right. Hey, Eric. Eric, your shirt should be there tomorrow. You got the confirmation stuff. If you check on it, it should be there tomorrow. I haven't checked it today, but basically because it went out so early on Monday afternoon, it was like it was going out on Tuesday. Sorry about that. When I went to take it, I had everything ready for it to go out on Monday morning. On my way to work at like 5:00, 5:30 in the morning, I go to a post office that has one of those little kiosks, and the kiosk was down. So on my way home on Monday afternoon, I stopped there again, and the kiosk was still down. So I said, damn it, I couldn't do it. So then I had to wait till I got all the way home. And then by the time I got all the way home, of course, it was later in the afternoon. So it went out on Monday afternoon and didn't actually go out probably until Tuesday morning. So sorry it took so long, but I wanted to say thank you again. Let's see. Mr. Jacob said I inherited a smoker from his dad built about 30 years ago. So I'm going to need your tips and tricks to help you out. Well, not a problem, sir. I can tell you what. If you go back into the videos and just kind of start from when I got Bessie is the wood burning smoker, and just start watching, man. You'll see that I learned a lot along the way, and I've improved a lot along the way. Let's see. Oh, this is okay, y'all. Hilarious. I did that in my video with me on the TV in the background. Barbecue Boulevard. Caught hell for it. Now y'all doing it. Come on, man. Well, I just did it to see the whole thing is usually, and this is truth. Alton, I usually have my laptop up and running so that I can see if the video craps out. I don't have my laptop set up, so I said, oh, you know what? I'll just put it on TV behind me. So that's why I turned it on. But it's not really working, so I'm gonna be turning it off soon. No problem, Terry. Not a problem whatsoever. Mark Cabello says, what's going on from Gonzales, Texas? Well, hello from Baltimore, Maryland, sir. What we sipping on tonight? We are sipping on some high test. Cuffing stuff. Yo, I'm schwitzing already. I'm feeling the sweat already. I put 2 shots of the high test corn in the cup, and it was the rest of it is filled with Sprite. So let's see. Alton says, Source and Wood, man, if y'all in the Austin area, he is the perfect guy for you for Post Oak. So Alton must be sitting at work because he says he's sipping coffee. Sunny G's, man, what's going on, man? It's been a minute since you've been on. Mark Cabello used to live in Rockport. All right. Would have been wrong with sourcing wood from Amazon. Grown Folks Network, I am not going to belittle you, or I'm not, because I understand that not everybody has the same access to everything. And if you are the type of person, or if you live in a community where things are, it's easier for you to pay a little bit of a premium to have some wood, some things delivered to you, I'm not going to fault you for that. You are still trying to cook. You're still trying to use wood, or at least use wood to help you cook. Again, I'm not going to fault you for that. But there are people that are like, you don't get your own wood, you don't cut down your own trees, you don't split your own wood. That's not real barbecue. Come on, man. Get out of here with that. Man, it's 2019. You got to be able to use technology to your advantage. And if you using technology to your advantage to have some wood delivered because you are an Amazon Prime member, so be it. Don't let anybody give you grief for it. And if they do, tell them to come see me. All right. Now I'll set them straight, because I hate, I sometimes I hate the hate. Let's put it that way. Carlos, how you doing? I'm chilling, man. How's everything with you? So the whole thing is Quester J. The cooking videos are probably a little too short, which is why I thought to just run the live stream loop. And the problem is the TV is as bright as it is, so you can't really see anything. So unfortunately, and I had the little mute bar on, so yeah. Zach Attack, how you doing? Hey, yo. That's been educating Koreans on real barber. All right, but it's been challenging for me to find a good pit over there. So, Mr. Tlong, all right, I don't know. So here's the deal. Unfortunately, with the beat that you're in Korea, you might end up having to make your own smoker. And I can tell you that there are plenty of people who will sell you plans for smoker. There's like smokerbuilder.com that will sell you plans for a smoker. And this is not a segue. This is actually pretty cool. So someone, I'm trying to cover up their address here. Someone sent me, all right. If you guys don't know, I have a P.O. box. The P.O. box is Steel Drum Smokers Barbecue, or SDSBBQ, and it's P.O. Box 3236, Catonsville, Maryland 21228. But so someone sent me some plans for a smoker, and he sent it, and he said, "Hey, can you check this out? Tell me what you think. If there's any modifications or suggestions you have, because I've cooked on things." He's like, let me know. So I was like, that's pretty cool. So I thought that was cool. Lou says he'll be right back. All right, so let's see. Dogfather says, what better way to advertise your channel than to have your YouTube channel playing in the background during your current shoot? I mean, definitely yes, Alton, but you would need, to me, how you would make it better is maybe if you had because like advertising or like having a banner in your video, like I used to have my old school videos, used to have my Instagram and my Twitter handle up in one corner and my website in another corner throughout the whole video, and it was like rather distracting. So maybe you can create like a 1 minute, like a loop almost, that you can play from your computer, or even if you put it up on YouTube and then put it on repeat, that has that information, or even if it's like something like a commercial with something popping in the background while your video is playing, so that it's not actually a real video, because the real video, not that it'll be distracting, but the real video is probably going to be too short to be, I think. But if you create like a short video that you put like unlisted, and you play that in the background, that might be something that just, like it pops every now and again and says, hey, subscribe. Or it pops every now and again and says, don't forget to hit that like button. Or it pops and says, hey, don't forget to comment. Or, it pops and then you advertise a website if you're selling merchandise. It pops again and reminds folks if you're having a live stream, or if you're doing the warm up for the hot seat type thing. I don't know. It's just off the cuff brainstorming real quick. No problem, Eric. I'm trying to catch up. What's your favorite wood, and do you cook on? Mr. Zikram says he uses mostly mesquite because it's very available, and I do like it as well. So I do have a frequently asked questions about this video, or FAQ about this video, where I talk about wood and sourcing and things like that. And the reason why I'm talking about it today is because someone asked me about it just today. And I was like, you know what? Where do people go and get wood? So that's why we're going to talk about sourcing the wood. So aside from trying to talk about what wood to use, okay, and in that FAQ video, I talk about the wood that you're primarily going to use, or most likely going to use, is going to be whatever is most prevalent in your area. In my area, the most prevalent wood that we have is oak, okay? There's oak, there's mulberry, there's locust, there's some fruit woods, there's some maple. So the fruit woods are going to be like apple and cherry are most prominent. There are some peach. I do have a small peach tree in my yard, so I do have access to some peach, but not much. I had a plum tree in my yard at one point. I actually saved the wood from the tree once the tree died finally. And I had like been saving like sticks, like sticks of the plum wood, and I really didn't notice anything different when I used pieces of it. But I also have 2 apple trees in my yard, and those apple trees probably going to be coming down soon, because they're both, like, one of them is completely dead, and the other one is probably at 25% life. So I'll probably cut those trees down and hopefully be able to harvest a lot of the wood to be able to cook with. But, I mean, I say all of that to say, use what you have available to you. Now, how do you use what you have available to you? Well, you have options as far as like going on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and scouring to say, hey, a tree fell, or if you know people who have trees in their yards or trees like on their property that after a major storm, you can go out after a major storm with a chainsaw, you can clean up. You got to do some heavy work, some hard lifting, and put in some sweat equity, but you can definitely come out ahead with some wood for 6 months down the line or a year down the line. All right, so Dogfather, so Alton says, Dash, where do you get your wood? What quantity and what kind of wood? So I don't have a specific kind of wood. I get with my arborist, okay? An arborist is a tree service, okay? My arborist, you guys have met Bob before in some of my videos. Bob comes, he brings a truckload, and I usually get a cord at a time. A cord of wood costs me, delivered, it costs me just under $200. So that's what it costs me in my area. I know some of you guys are paying more than that. Some of you guys are paying less than that. I'm envious of you guys who are paying less than that. And I'm like, ooh, I feel bad for you guys who are paying more than that for a cord of wood. All right, so let's see. Mark says, Facebook Marketplace is great for locating bulk wood. I found a nice family with 2 boys that have a tree removal service. Split season and sell by the bundle all the way up to cords, and it's college money. That's what you need to find, Mark. A little service like that, those guys will probably be doing it for a good long while, which means you'll have a great source of wood for a while. On the definition of barbecue is a hole in the table with some fire in it. Yeah, Mr. Long, I can tell you. Actually, there is a Korean barbecue not too far away from me. It is called Iron Age, and if you have the opportunity to go to this restaurant called Iron Age, I highly recommend it. It is awesome. It is awesome, awesome, awesome. Get the Iron Age steak. So Zacatech says, have I tried the charcoal pellets? I have not tried the charcoal pellets. I did actually buy a bag, but tonight was the first time I've used the pellet grill in probably a week or two. So the pellets that are in there, I just didn't want to take them out. I actually wanted some wood flavor for what I was cooking tonight, and I did not take them out. Uh, hey, Eric Moreno says, yo, 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 what's happening, gang? Uh, Thank you very much, Quester J. I appreciate that. There's a place in Seoul, Korea called Texas Barbecue. Heading up there in a couple of weeks to check it out. Well, let us know the results, definitely. That would be cool. Not that I'm going to be coming to Seoul tomorrow or next week, but if I ever get there, at least I will know. Smoky Ribs does have a good just the banner. Okay, definitely need a new banner. All right. Dude. I mean, the real wood talk. You know, we kind of sprinkle it in there. I'm just trying to catch up. I'm a couple minutes behind on the comments, so please bear with me. And you can hear my cat. She's found something to entertain us. All right, so here's the thing. Alton says, which oak do I use? The oak that I use is just oak. I don't. I think it might just be a white oak. There is white oak. There's red oak, but there's like 45 different oak varieties, and I know you prefer post oak. I don't. It's not post oak. At least from what I understand, it is. It's just oak, man. I don't. Funny. I have a friend whose name is Oakman, but he was on the live stream a few weeks ago. But it's just oak to me. Now again, it could be like a white oak. Like most prevalent, it's probably gonna be the white oak or a red oak. But other than that, I don't know. The arborist is like, oh, that's just oak. Okay. And I can tell the difference between oak and mulberry and oak and locust and oak and cherry and oak and apple. They smell different. They look different sometimes, but the most important or the more important thing is they smell different. All right, so let's see. Cabs checking in from Kentucky. Asked barbecue joints for tips on where they got the wood, but only one seems willing to give up their supplier. I've been having to check on Facebook Marketplace. So that's the thing. Like somebody who is getting wood, I mean, obviously you don't have to tell you anything, but it would be nice. You're like, hey, look, I'm cooking at home for myself, and I really would like to get a supply of wood. You know, it's about how you approach them. If you tell them, hey, you know, I'm about to start this business and I'm trying to cook, you know, blah, 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 they're probably gonna be like, well, I don't want you as competition. I'm not going to give you any information. So it's probably about how you approach them. Grown Force Network says, this just popped in my head. This was not one of the topics you gave. It was not one of the topics I gave last week. So the whole thing was someone asked about it today, and I was like, you know what, let's talk about it. Baracho Barbecue. So this is Eric says, another good thing to do is if you are a hunter and you lease land, look at the trees that are around that might be dying and ask the owner if you could take them. Now that is a great idea, Eric. Smoke with Mulberry. How was it? We have plenty around here. Meigs, it leaves a little bit to be desired. Mulberry and Locust are not my favorite, but it's fine to cook with. I find that and I don't know if it was just the particular wood that I had, and unfortunately, I do not remember if it was Mulberry or Locust. One of the two of them burned dirty. Okay, and I can't remember which one it was, but I know that I had like a stack of wood, and I knew that it wasn't all oak, whatever it was that I had. So, and like I said, I know some of it was mulberry and some of it was locust. So, Ricer's checking in from Dead Brook Barbecue up there in Wisconsin. All right, we got John from Drive Crash. He says, he's had to start getting himself from friends and neighbors who have had trees come down. This year has been this year As the guy I used, he couldn't be trusted to give me what I asked for. Well, there you go. Sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands, right? All right, everybody saying hi. This is 6 months. Yeah. Alton says wood up there is cheap. That's not cheap, man. I know people getting it cheaper than that. What's a cord? A cord is a measurement. Um, Usually the measurement is 4 by 4 by 8. Okay, so if you take a split, usually that split is about 18 to 24 inches long. You should be able to stack two of those 4 feet high and then 8 foot long is a cord. Alton says 128 cubic feet is a cord of wood. If you're lucky, sometimes you can trade some barbecue for wood. I've done that and have some red oak lined up, which will cost me a whole brisket in trade. Mark, man, I wish I could find a whole brisket to trade a whole cord of wood, man. Shoot. I charge $125 for brisket. Now, I don't pay $125 for brisket, but I charge $125 for brisket. Mark says, luckily the lady I'm in the fire department with sells me wood, whatever I can fit in the bed of my truck for about $60, depending on what she has. That's what's up. Victor says he's getting a chainsaw soon. The word has gotten out. I'm looking for fruit, wood, maple, oak, and alder. The problem is this will all be green, so I'm still looking for some cured. I have a great night. No problem, man. Thank you. Shout out to you too. Boa noche. Obrigado. Kevin, how you doing? Trade Day 216, what's going on? That's what I love about being in Texas. All the barbecue places here help each other. No one looks at it as competition. All we want to do is see each other do well. There comes a point, though, Alton, man, you kind of have to protect some of the stuff you're doing. Yeah, I know. Nothing. Alton says nothing worse than dirty smoke. I'm almost there. I'm almost caught up. Yes, I think I'm caught up. I'm caught up on the comments. Mr. Zekrom says, how do I get into barbecuing? What made you want to start doing what you do? So let's see. Mr. Zekrom, so I do have and I try to stay on topic the first hour of this discussion. So Alton is here and Ricer is here to help me stay on topic. But the first hour of our discussion, I try to stay on topic. So the topic tonight is talking about sourcing wood. So I won't tell you about how I got into barbecue, but if you care to, you can look. I do have a frequently asked questions video, or a frequently asked questions playlist. One of the videos in that playlist is how I got into doing barbecue. All right. But really quickly, I went to Texas, couldn't get brisket that I had in Texas up here in Baltimore. So it took me 7 years to get it right. I finally got the brisket right. And by the time I was cooking a whole brisket, it was just too much for me and my family. I started giving some of the food to my friends. And after a while of me giving enough food to my friends, I got people that were like, yo, I'd pay for this. Hey, can you cook me this? Hey, can you do that? And it kind of just grew from a hobby, for me to cook for my family, for me to try to figure out how to do it, to a small time or side time hustle. Then I did it full time for a while, and I've gone back to doing it part time because I'm sending my kids to school and I'm paying for their tuition, so I needed more of a steady income. So let's see. Alton says he has a half a cord rack and pay anywhere between $150 to $200 for a half cord. Oh wow. Mark says we can find cords of oak for $150 to $175 in Pennsylvania. That's probably delivered. Or is that delivered, or do you have to go and get it, Mark? Jesse James says, hey, Dash, how have I been? I'm good, man. Thank you so very much for asking. All right, so let's see. Best time to buy wood in early spring. No, so barbecue 951. Best time to buy wood is when you can get it, man. I don't discriminate. I don't say you have to get it this time of year. You can't get it during this time of year. No, I get wood whenever I need it. Unfortunately, the people who are doing like a lot more trees get cut down in the spring and split up. Cut down in the winter and split up during the spring because it's easier because there's no leaves. So it's not that it's the better time of year for it. It's just more convenient. in my opinion. All right. Homeschool. You got teacher skills. Yeah, I wish. I don't have the patience to teach my own kids. All right, Grown Fools Network says hour two. I'm going to ask you about the price of a place my wife and I went to last Friday. I want to see if we paid too much. All right, let's see. Jesse James says true. Both. All right, both of them. All right. So Mark says both of them. And he says some offer delivery within a 10 to 15 mile, and the other is pickup. Look, I wouldn't have a problem picking up wood. Actually, when I first got Vanna, one of the first times I got, well, not first times, but when I had just gotten Vanna, both of them, okay? Both of them. You never heard both of them? Shoot. Or both of them? Mm-hmm. Both of them. Country, they play both types of music. or they have something. I'm messing up the joke. I'm sorry. They play two types of music in that bar, country and western. Yep, both of them. Nope. We're not even going there, Alton. All right, so where else do you guys find your wood? Because I also, one of the things that Maryland does, which is cool, and if your state might do it, and I actually saw when I went up to Massachusetts, when I took Tom his smoker, right? We had that raffle, and he won the smoker. I took the smoker up there to him in Massachusetts, and I'm like, what the heck is going on the screen? So I took the smoker up there. One of the things I noticed is when there is a tree that goes down on the side of the road, the state maintenance workers will cut it up and they'll put it in logs that they'll leave on the side of the road. And all you have to do is stop and pick it up. I've definitely seen it in Maryland, and I've definitely seen it in, Tom is up in Massachusetts, but I think he's right near the Connecticut, like he's not far from Connecticut. That being said, he told me one of the things that was crazy because I asked him about it. He told me that you cannot go to Connecticut and bring the wood back to Massachusetts and vice versa. He said, it's just like one of those things where, like, if you have a vehicle and you're taking it from like the United States into Canada and you bring dirt or soil on that vehicle, you have to clean it off very, very well because there's certain bugs and organic things that you're moving it from one ecosystem to another ecosystem. So that's one of the things that's a big no-no. You cannot bring wood across state lines, which I think is crazy because it's like, 10 miles away, it doesn't matter. There's specific bugs that might be in this one area that you'll be bringing to another area. But that was one of the things we talked about while we were getting this smoker going. Zach says I go around where they are clearing land for houses. Most of the time, they're happy for you to take all you want. Yeah, but you know what? When you do stuff like that, Zach, you run the risk of having to do all of the work yourself. And if you have the means to be able to do all of the work yourself, then knock yourself out. I don't have a log splitter, so whenever I get wood, it usually ends up sitting and it'll be in my way for 4 to 6 months before I can get Bob to bring down his log splitter, and then I have to use it. And then I have to use it in the afternoon because, he'll bring it to me early in the afternoon and I'm out, half the night working, splitting wood, and then I got to stack it once it's done. It's just a whole process. Now, mind you, I don't do it, but maybe once, maybe twice a year for that specific reason because the wood it gets in the way. Because where I have to stack it to store it before it's ready, it blocks some of the garages and things like that. So it's just kind of a pain. But if you have the means to be able to do that and you have the space, and that's a lot of things that's the problem. Sometimes you need the space to be able to store the wood until you can split it. All right, so Grown Force Network, hold on one second. I will answer your question. Go around, let's make sure. I used to pick up and load my Jeep Wrangler with all the seats down. Now I have a pickup. It's definitely much easier. I can imagine, Mark. So Grown Force Network, he says, what What does it mean by cure? All right, basically you just dry it out. The wood dries out, and it cures. It just dries, and it allows it to burn easier. And the easiest way for that to happen is if you increase the surface area of the splits. Okay, so if you take a log around, okay, and let's say it's 8 to 10 inches around, and about 18 to 20 inches long. Okay, you split that up into sections, okay, and usually you can get like 6 to 8 splits from that. But because the wood is open, like the log or the round only has the surface area that's exposed on the top and the bottom of the round. But when you split it up, you now have the top, the bottom, and three, or excuse me, two of the three sides, because it'll kind of look kind of like a pie cut, depending on how your split splits. No pun intended. There can be more squarer splits. You guys have seen me in some of my videos talk about like a medium-sized split, like a small split, and a large split. And it's just the surface area. So more surface area will allow that to dry out. And the wood, once it loses moisture, it'll burn easier and faster. Or catch faster. Man, I'm moving to Arizona. Well, Jesse, that's what's up. Wood from my local landscapers. That sounds good. Smoking Goodness says, I have fruit orchard about 20 miles. Oh, that's what's up, Terry. That's dope. I'm actually going to be doing a video with my wood splitter to showcase what they do. Cool. You have a handheld splitter like a ratchet, Alton. Cooking with Josh and Babe. Josh is here. Hold on. You can't just like walk in the room like, Josh is here. Josh is here. Where's Babe? You gotta come as a package, man. You know, unless she's like cooking or something, then it's okay. All right, Eric, thank you, sir, for hanging out. Definitely appreciate you popping in, and thank you again, sir, for sending that rotisserie. If you didn't know, Eric sent out. He talked about sending a rotisserie 2 weeks ago, and then he hit me up again about it last week. He sent it out. I got it and cooked on it. So, Eric, thank you very much for sending out that rotisserie. Yeah. Let's see. Mark says yard waste recycle centers usually allow you to pick up waste that people drop off. Got to be there at the right time or it's gone quick. Okay, so maybe I guess people drop wood off at the. Yeah. Josh, we are good. So everybody saying hi to Josh. That allows me to catch up. Get yourself a moisture meter too. It helps ensure your moisture percentage is perfect for smoking. Mark, that is a very good idea. I do not have one of those. Alton says, I keep a mixture of big splits and small splits, as well as less dense and more dense. It's all in the puzzle when you're cooking to figure out which splits to go on and when. That is exactly it, Alton. That video, one of the videos that I have on my channel that is doing the best, like crazy. I know some of you guys were like, when I did that video talking about straightening my beard with the hot brush, some of y'all were like, bruh, you a barbecue channel, right? I tell you, that video is putting up numbers right now because it's just content, okay? But that being said, one of the best barbecue related videos is a video I did talking about fire management. And I was sitting out at Bessie, and I'm like, you know what? And that video was a snippet from a longer video. And after I finished editing that video, I was like, man, this, like, people are gonna skip around and they're not gonna watch this video throughout the whole. So I'm gonna take this piece out of it. Okay, I'm gonna take this piece out, and I'm gonna make a small little snippet, and we're gonna throw this up separate. So that video was like 4 minutes, 5 minutes. I've gotten like 100,000 views on that video. I feel like, I don't know what the actual number is. I don't remember, but that is one of the most consistent videos. People watch that video, and it gives very pertinent information on how to manage a wood burning fire for cooking. And the whole thing is, Alton, just like you said, it is like a puzzle. Okay, you're playing Tetris, but the Tetris is, as opposed to trying to clear lines, you're trying to keep a temperature. And like that's the best way to put it. But and I talk about that in the video, talking about, if I want the fire to, like, it'll take a while for the temperature to come up, but it'll stay steady for a while if I use like a large or a medium split. But if I'm trying to hurry up and get the temperature up to a certain point, then I'll throw in a small split. So Alton, you might be more familiar than someone else who might not have the capacity to use a bunch of splits. You might put a small split and a large split in at the same time. The small split's going to catch and help catch the large split, okay? And that large split will help keep your temperature, at a specific area for a good while. Now, you could use like two medium splits and it'll take a little while for the temperature to come up, but when it hits when it hits where it's supposed to be, then it'll like coast, right? So I'm sure you guys who have been cooking know what I'm talking about. Eric Smith, how you doing this evening? Technically, winter is the best time to cut trees for clean fuel. This is because the sap will mostly be in the roots. Yep. Victor, I agree with that. Do you ever cheat and use liquid smoke? Never. I have never, ever, 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 ever used liquid smoke. Like I joke, and it's funny because if I have enough moisture in my smokers and I tilt my the exhaust, there is actually, like, I can look on the ground outside of where the smoker is, and I can actually collect moisture that condenses, especially when it's cold outside, condenses from the exhaust pipe, and I could make my own liquid smoke. Okay, but I haven't, and I don't. Firebox is big enough that you can put all hot coals on one side of the box and get my deck split on. Okay. The opposite side, the firebox drying out, it goes up instantly. You know what, Alden? I've seen that, and I actually think I commented on a video, one of your videos, talking about that, and I was like, oh man, I think that's dope that you have enough room in your firebox to be able to preheat your wood. I think I commented something about that. Trick question: I need to make a big barbecue video this weekend. Weber or pit barrel cooker? Go. What do I make? You pick the video. I film this weekend. All right. So here's the thing, Josh. You put me on the spot, and I want to answer this question, but we have a rule around here. We try to stay on topic during the first hour of the discussion. And I'm going to use this as a method to cheat and try to think about what you have to do and what you have to cook on. But if I had to be completely honest with you, I tell you to cook on a pit barrel cooker and to do something simple. Shoot a video for those people who are just getting pit barrel cookers. Simple chicken or pieces of chicken. That's always my go-to. And you want that evergreen content that's going to sit out there for a while. So if you've done chicken on a pit barrel cooker, then maybe you can cook it a different way. All right. But that's going to be my candid, quick, off-the-cuff answer. The pit barrel cooker, because the pit barrel cookers are hot right now. Everyone has Webers. Everyone has covered Webers. I won't say my Weber videos don't do as well, but pit barrel cookers they're hot, they're in, they're new, they're the thing. And then chicken is one of those things that people who are just beginning, just starting, they're going to be using a pit barrel cooker to cook chicken. Just my opinion. All right. The key is keeping those coals. Good bet anyway. No problem. Just remember that the coals give you the heat and the wood gives you the flavor. So if you are losing temps, you probably allowed your coal bed to dwindle. Temps come back when the coals are made. Okay. All right. No subscription necessary. That's way too much work. I just use a microwave and liquid smoke. Man, that don't work. That don't work. That's not good enough. Out of order. It's cool, Jeff. Man, I appreciate you popping on and hanging out. Definitely. JB says, what's going on? He said, what's up, bro? Checking in from Georgia. Well, Georgia's on my mind right now. The game is anticipating the dying of the coal bed to keep the wood burning to maintain the coal bed. Yeah. Smokehouse Syndicate, Seattle. You gotta add that Seattle part. Says, what's up, everybody? Well, we got John from 4J's just checking in. Everybody is popping on and saying, what's up? Well, thank you very much, Josh. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Like I said, usually the first hour we try to stay on topic. How many times have I stayed on topic during the first hour? Like the entire hour. How many times have I stayed on topic? Anyone comment down below how many times? Um Alton, that's funny. He says his BBC has become a lawn ornament. Corey says favorite type of wood to cook with. I cook with whatever is available. I don't have a favorite type. I cook with what I have available. Burst desserts, man. My sugar just went up just thinking about it. Alton says none. John says 8 out of 10. Lou says goose egg, my friend. I love you too, guys. Damn. Jeez, y'all could at least make me feel good about it. Like I try to stay on topic, but I know I don't. I know. You ain't gotta hurt my feelings about it though. But I mean, usually the distractions are typically like a rant or a story, so they're worth it in the end, right? Are they worth it? Are they worth it? Those of you guys who've been around for a while and have been hanging out. Jesse James asks how's business. All right, I'm going to save that one for the next hour. All right. Rice says you come close though, bud. All right, well, thanks. You never stay on topic because you give the people what they want. Well, thank you, Alton. That was like that pat or pat kick pat. When you have some bad news to deliver, so you pat the dog on the head, and then you want to scold them for doing something wrong, and then you pat him, say it'll be okay. Luce is A for effort, my friend. 10 out of 10 on the effort scale. Just never happens. I know, man. The best laid plans of mice and men. Josh says, yeah. If you don't, so I am on Facebook, but I don't do much on Facebook, man. I'll be completely honest with you. I really don't like Facebook. Just not my favorite. Social media wise, hit me up on Instagram. That is how you will find me. That's the best place to get in touch with me. Instagram. I spend lots of time on Instagram. Alton, let's go. Let's get this. Dead it, man. Dead it. You have your opinion. I have my opinion. We gonna agree to disagree. All right. So Rice says we should drop it to 30 minutes to stay on topic. But the problem is this, right? So for the first hour, and let me just get. I'm sorry. So I like sitting where I'm sitting now because I'm sitting at a bar and just drinking at the bar, as opposed to my dining room table. I don't know. I find that I like this area a little better. But anyway, let's see. I'm trying to catch up. Alton says definitely Instagram. But Alton, you put stuff on Instagram and Facebook, man. I see your stuff. But for me, my Instagram is Steel Drum Smokers. Hey, wait. Conveniently, I have it written on my shirt. Okay. There it is right there. Hopefully it is not backwards because I'm looking at it. It's backwards. But did you know you could purchase one of these shirts and or some stickers? They can be purchased at the website BRBQUE.com. Again, that's BRBQUE.com. Speaking of thumbs, if you haven't already, please give me a thumbs up for the video. I tell you guys, not only does it make me feel better, it really does help these videos and my channel. So just want to say thank you in advance for those of you who are leaving thumbs up or have not and are going to do so. Really do appreciate that. So yeah, Alton says, man, it was fun stream and it lasted a long time. Yes, it did last a long time, but it was, I'm telling you, man, just, we're going to agree to disagree. I know that, when I get to Austin, or if you get up here, I just know that we are going to discuss this for as long as a brisket and pork shoulder need to, like, as long as they need to cook. I'm just going to be ready, and I'm going to have like that 18 pack ready. And by the time it's all said and done, we're going to be slurring and laughing and joking, and you're going to be my brother. Like, you already my brother, but you're going to be my brother, like my brother. because it's gonna be a good time, and I can't wait for the conversation because I just know that it's gonna happen, and I just know it. I just know it. All right. So Terry says he has Facebook and Instagram. Both are Mad Wood Barbecue. So I unfortunately use my phone to stream this live stream. So I cannot go on Instagram while I am on the live stream. But if you are following me and you can comment, so somebody go out to my Instagram and tell me what I posted that I cooked for dinner tonight. What did I post for dinner tonight? Uh, no, he did not say that, Alton. Basically, y'all saying that Dash is picking crappy topics. No. You should just talk about whatever. No, because talking about whatever doesn't give people incentive to come and join us because there's no direction. Now, I used to talk about whatever. Like, I just used to talk about whatever was on my mind, whatever was on my heart. I just brought it to the live stream. Bless his heart. No, that didn't work. Someone suggested that I make these live streams a little more structured, and since making the live streams a little more structured, there are some hits as far as hot topics, and there are some duds as far as low topics. And every topic on a live stream is not going to be for everyone, and also there are times when people are not available to be on the live stream, and there are plenty of times people who aren't available to watch the live streams live will go back and watch them later, and they'll be commenting and watching the entire live stream and commenting throughout the live stream as if they were on the live stream. So those are dope too. So I appreciate those guys. You guys know who you are. I'm laughing at Alton because he says, "See, Dash, the way my checking account is set up, man. Thank you, Quester J. I really appreciate you. You are the MVP." The witness says, just gave me a thumbs up. Appreciate that. I just followed you the other day. Decided to make food page, red line, smoking and grilling. Yeah, Mark. Well, the whole thing is, I'll be completely honest with you. If your page is private and I can't see who you are, I probably will not follow you back. If you do not make communication or don't communicate with me just to say hi, hey, I'm following you on YouTube, I really don't know who a lot of people are, and I try to keep who I'm following back a little more personal so that I can keep track, because I don't want to be one of those people that's following 10,000 people and I'm losing touch with, and Instagram is already going the way that Facebook is going, where if you don't interact with someone, you don't see their content. So if I don't follow you back, it's nothing personal. It's just I won't say build a rapport, but I really do follow and know what's going on with a lot of people who are on my feed, and I want to maintain that. And the only way I can maintain that is to not dilute that by following 100 to 200 to 300 random accounts, so that I can actually get the content I want to see. Hopefully, you guys understand what I'm saying. Josh says, true. What are you saying? True about the only problem with the live stream is when you get behind. Hey, Ricer, 18. Come on, man. I was trying to be nice. Shoot, I know I can keep up. I can. Ricer, when you and I get together, we probably gonna drink a suitcase to ourselves each. But maybe Alton might be doing his keto thing at that point, so he might not be able to drink as much. Okay. Look, Alton, please do not threaten me with a good time, because I will. Oh, I can drink, buddy. I can drink. Corey asked if I've ever done whole hog. I have not, because of the fact that I don't get much call for whole hog. Everyone always asks about me doing whole hog, and I say the same thing every time. There's not enough call for me to do a whole hog. Whole hogs are a thing that's much bigger further in the South. You got to remember, I am in Baltimore, Maryland. These guys, like in Baltimore, pit beef is king. I am converting people to brisket, like one slice of brisket at a time. Barbecue around here is not really barbecue. Barbecue is grilling, and grilling is pit beef, pit turkey, pit ham. Nah, that's not barbecue to me. Alton, close your mouth. I know you're about to say something. Uh, Wing Wednesday. Yes, I cooked wings. That's what I cooked on the. I cooked it on the Weber tonight using the Vortex. Question J is funny. He said, "I cooked chicken butts." Nope. Uh, Thank you very much, man. Alton, I appreciate that. Huh. Yo, what's happening with you, Kirk? How you doing? Hey, Lou, thank you very much, man, for hanging out. I know you work. You actually work. So thank you. Corey, nope. Second time. It's not that I didn't answer your question. You got to remember that the comments, I am behind in the comments. When a comment pops up and I stop to read it and I stop to answer it, I get behind. So right now, I'm looking at comments from 4 minutes ago. So unfortunately, just be patient. If you ask a question, I'll try to answer it. I just might not be able to answer it as quickly as you would like. You cook old school, bro. Mad respect. Well, Jesse, I appreciate that. I mean, I am a. I'm telling you, I am a keep it simple dude. I'm like, yo, I'm not injecting anything. No, I will use the seasoning I'm going to use. I'm going to cook with what I'm going to cook with, and that's it. Like I try to keep it pretty tried and true. But there are some things that I do that are a little new school. Like a lot of people don't wrap briskets. I wrap my briskets. I tell you guys, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I have not sensitive teeth, but I don't want to break my teeth biting into a brisket, man. I don't like. I don't like hard baked cookies. What makes you think I want a hard bark on my brisket? No, give me soft baked cookies and give me death, right? I know some of you guys disagree, but I like soft baked cookies. I like a softer bark brisket. And there are a lot of people who appreciate that too. So I'm not the only one. No problem. Seattle is in the building. Smokehouse Syndicate says he's representing. I think AM Shadow Band. Eh. Tramel, how you doing? Get it right on your page. Well, thank you very much, man. All in the stirring the pot. Look at him. It's not. It wasn't even 9. It wasn't even 10 o'clock when he stirred the pot and he said, "Second hour, y'all bring the questions." I want to try whole hog just once. Well, Terry, the problem with whole hog is you have to either you're gonna be buying cinder block to put the cinder block down and to cook the hog down in the cinder block, or if you're gonna be digging a hole to put it down with some burlap sacks. Now, mind you, the guy who built my smokers, Kurt, he built them to be able to allow for whole hogs to be cooked in them. But I'm like, whole hog is going to cost me a fair amount of money, and I'm cooking a whole hog for what? For whom? Is my reasoning behind why I'm not pressed to cook a whole hog. Now, if someone gives me a whole hog and says, "Hey, boom, hey yo, I called this butcher, and they got this whole hog set up for you. All you gotta do is go and get it, season it up, and go from there." Okay, I have no choice because I'm not putting out that money. I don't have the extra money, man. I told you guys I'm paying for my kids' tuition, and I got some other things I'm taking care of. I'm paying for, you know, car notes, cell phone, insurance, fuel, this, that. I'm a regular dude. Got regular bills. So that being said, I don't have like the extra to go buy a pig just for my kids to and my wife to nibble on it. And a lot of you guys know I don't even eat pork. Health reasons, I don't eat pork. So I stopped eating pork a long time ago when I was trying to get my act together, my weight down. And I never started eating it back up again. Not an aversion to pork or anything like that. I just choose not to eat it. So I can probably count on one hand how many times I have pork in the span of a year or two. Now there are times when I might cook something new or try something different. So okay, I'm trying a crispy pork belly. All right, I'm gonna try it. But those instances are few and far between. Da, da, da. So Alton says the La Caja China makes cooking whole hog very easy. Those things are like 150, 200 bucks maybe. And they'll cook a pretty decent sized pig. And all you do is assemble the box, put the pig down in it, put the charcoal on top, and wait and come back. After last Wednesday, I don't think anyone questioned your alcohol tenacity. Well, you'd be surprised, Jimmy. I won't say found out, but you learned the hard way that I'm good. I can handle my liquor. And it's not like I'm a person that drinks every single night, but goodness gracious, when I drink, ooh, I drink. Yes. What makes you think unwrapped brisket has a hard bark? I've cooked unwrapped briskets, and I know that unwrapped briskets do have a hard bark. You prefer foil or butcher paper? I prefer foil pans. I have cooked in foil, and the cooking in foil, I did not capture as much of the jus as I would have liked. Eric says, "Hey yo, Dash and Barbecue family, what's going on with you, Eric? How you doing this evening?" Good. Is pink butcher paper good for retaining heat or tenderizing beef brisket, or do you prefer foil instead of for tenderness? All right, witness. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. All right, so I have never actually cooked in butcher paper because I gotta buy a whole roll of it, and I can't just buy a little bit of it to test. Yeah. Sure says I look rich. Sure. Right. Whole hog roasts around here are a staple for graduation parties, Ricer says. I do block parties once in a while with a tip jar. Well, Terry, that's what's up. On Steam. What? Oh. Waiting to hear the thoughts on Steam. Me and Rat Brisket. Dog, don't knock it till you tried it, man. I'm telling you. If you don't like soft baked cookies, then you're not going to like a wrapped up brisket. It's probably it. Look, you know me. All right, you should know me by now. You do things your way, I'll do things my way. I like the way I do things, the way that I do things. There are a lot of people who like the way I do things too. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just going to say that it's different. And me doing something one way, the right way, and you doing something a different way, the wrong way, it's just a matter of a difference, okay? All right. But I'm not going to knock you for being wrong at all. I'm not. I mean, you are well more seasoned. You've been doing this a little while longer because you're a little, what they call, longer in the tooth. So I'm not even gonna hold that against you. I'm just going to, the way I do things and the way I caveat these videos and what I talk about is how I do this for my paying customers. Now, if you get people who are paying you for what you do, then more power to you. But it's just different. Let's see. Jesse says, what do you think, Dash? A food truck or a brick and mortar? I'm moving to a small town and my sister has a flower shop. She wants him to cater. So I'll tell you this, Jesse. The hassle is going to definitely be in the brick and mortar, right? But the brick and mortar will allow you so much more freedom that the food truck will not. My focus has changed from a food truck or a mobile type deal to a brick and mortar, because once you get the brick and mortar set up, that is your commercial kitchen. Most people don't know that in order to have a food truck or a mobile business set up, you need to use a commercial kitchen or have a commercial kitchen and or a commissary kitchen. So if you have your business set up and you have that commercial kitchen already established, then making something mobile will be 10 times easier than doing it the opposite way around. So that's just been a court of unpopular opinion, let's put it that way, that I've kind of come to that realization. So when I went and looked at that food truck a few months ago now, shoot, I was like back in February, I went and looked at the truck. I'm still getting people asking about that. And people like everyone wants a food truck. Okay? Everyone wants a food truck. But everyone loves like everyone has seen that movie Chef, and they want the glory behind the food truck and the that I'm looking for a word and I can't find it, but it might not be what you're looking for, because especially with me doing barbecue in the particular area that I live in, the restrictions on what I can use as a fire source are crazy. So yeah. Da-da-da-da. All right, Questa J, thank you very much, man. I really, really, really appreciate it. Mimi, how you doing? This is Genesis for weddings. All right. Aldo, how you doing this evening? Nolan's checking in. How clean do you get your water pans? I get weirded out when I see murky water in the bottom of a smoker. Sean, I've tried to show this in the past, but I usually get all the gunk and grease out. If there's a little bit of a rust color, I'm not mad at that because I'm putting water into a straight steel, so there is going to be some rust discoloration. But to be completely honest, once you start cooking, all the grease and the gunk from whatever it is you're cooking that turns everything else black inside the smoker is going to turn the water black and or brown inside the smoker. It's to me, it's not that big of a deal. It's not like you're cooking the food in that water. And one of the things too that you have to, how I think about it is when the water boils, only the moisture is coming out of it. Any of the particulates, any of the, anything that won't evaporate is staying in that water pan. And I mean, it's just like distilling a liquor or, a spirit, or cooking water cooking water, like boiling water to distill it to make it purified. Same thing. All right. Question J since had to replace the whole kitchen granite plus fix the wood. They scratched it. Ooh, goodness gracious. So in case you guys don't know, Question J is having a house built. I think it's a house built, right? And he's going through that whole process of making sure they get it right. Yes, Alton. See, this is why we get along, man. He said, bro, I've tried rap too, man. It's all about all the preference deal, and you're absolutely right. John from Drive Crash says, I like all cookies. I'm sure there's probably a cookie you don't like. Josh says, speak on it. Dang, Jay, oh well. Sean is laughing. I said all the time, there's no such thing as bad barbecue. It's just different. Alton, I don't know. We might have to mark this day down. Alton and I have agreed on something without having to go back and forth for 13 hours. Like the great, it's not a filibuster. That's what I'm looking for. It's not a filibuster for me to make him understand what I'm trying to say, and for him to try to make me understand what he's trying to say. Nah, man, we good. Soft baked cookies others. Yes. Alton, I'm glad you appreciate my terminology, man. I try to be tactful about certain things. Longer in the tooth. What's your address? I will send you some butcher's paper. I have never tried it. Well, Chris, the address is down in the description, but the address that you can send stuff is SDSBBQ, or Steel Drum Smokers Barbecue. If you feel, acronym, you want to use the acronym SDSBBQ, and that's P.O. Box 3236. 3236, Catonsville, Catonsville, Maryland, 21228. All right. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. You know what you want to say? You go to the place and they have barbecue sauce on the barbecue. What did you do wrong? Now, Alton, man, I'm telling you, it's not. It's not like that. It's not. It's, at least not for my stuff. It's not. Pat says I like the people who strip every bit of the dark off the wood, but won't bark on the meat. You're absolutely correct, man. Pat, I throw you. If you've seen my cooking videos, people say, "Oh, do you leave the bark on your do you are you a bark or a no bark on your wood person?" Man, shoot, it all burns. It all burns. The thing to keep in mind when it deals or when it pertains to wood is you cannot overload your smoker, and you have to balance out how much wood you put in versus how much oxygen you have, because the worst thing you can have is a dirty fire, and your wood with bark will give you worse flavor if you overload the smoker with wood too much. That's just been my experience. But if you overload your smoker, period, you're gonna get, it's gonna be jacked up. Conversion unwrapped to completion. If so, what were the results? Man. So Alton, no, I have not. Alton says, serious question dash. Have you ever cooked a brisket unwrapped to completion? If so, what were the results? Alton said he'll share mine if you like. And Alton, feel free to share yours. I have not done that. And the reason why, well, actually, I'm going to take that back. I think I may have in the beginning, but once I figured out that I liked the briskets wrapped up because of the aforementioned reasons that I don't like the really hard bark, I think I've completed and done them wrapped from then on out. And that's pretty much just been the way I've done it because that's my preferred method. So I haven't done one recently where I'm like, okay, you know what? Today's gonna be the day where, excuse me, I'm gonna cook a brisket to completion. Yeah. Showing us there's too many restrictions for a food truck. Exactly. Mark says I'm gonna start up a barbecue trailer, purchase a trailer in Georgia, and I'm taking the winter outfit to outfit the trailer to get all my licenses and insurances in order. That's what's up, Mark. Well, good luck. Oh yeah, definitely. All us going back and forth. There's nothing wrong with that. Richard lives up the street. He's up in Catonsville, which is one town over. Catonsville is obviously where you guys know I have my P.O. box. So, yeah. Mark, good night to you. Thank you for checking in. Perry, hopefully by the time you get back, I will have caught up to the comments because I am currently 5 minutes behind. All right, Mr. Thong, thank you very much. Thlong? I don't know. Hopefully I can catch the show again next week. Well, yeah, man. If you do Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Eastern time. So set your calendar. Yeah, set your calendar. Tried Suckle Buster seasoning. No, I have not tried any Suckle Buster seasoning. I just haven't. I tell you guys, man, I have my seasoning that I use. And I feel bad sometimes when I don't use other people's seasonings. But I'm telling you, I get grief from my wife when I use a different seasoning because she's like, this isn't what I'm expecting. This isn't. And in the beginning, when I started doing my barbecue, like one of my main things was consistency. I wanted to be like McDonald's. Or I wanted to be like Chick-fil-A. I wanted to be like Wendy's. I wanted to be like Taco Bell. If you go into a Taco Bell in Baltimore and if you go into a Taco Bell in California and order something, it's going to be the same across the country. I wanted your first time ordering food from me to be the same as the second time and the fourth time and the 19th time. Everything I wanted it to be the same. And it took me a while to develop the seasonings and the flavors that I use, the combinations that I use. So when I cook with something different now, she's like, this kind of goes against almost everything that you started doing. And I'm like, YouTube is kind of pushing me to do different things and to try different things because I can't keep cooking the same 6 or 7 meats with the same 6 or 7 seasonings. I have to do something different. I have to try something else. And she's like, she dings me because it's not the same sometimes. So I don't try as much extra seasoning or different seasoning as I probably like a lot of you guys do. I don't because I'm not just like oh my gosh, man. You any of you guys know you probably have like a plethora of seasonings. As do I. As do I. 2 pounds of brisket, half rack of ribs, greens, mac and cheese, tea, and hush puppies, $69. Did I pay too much? 2 pounds of brisket, half rack of ribs. All right, so Grown Foods Network. If I was doing 2 pounds of brisket, my brisket would have been $16 per pound. So that's $32 right there. Half rack of ribs, my half rack of ribs. When I was doing ribs, now I don't know were they baby backs or were they spares. My baby backs, I would do a half rack at $15. Okay, a whole rack would be 25. And mac and cheese, tea, and hush puppies. I mean, 32, 15 is like 45. But I don't know what they were charging for their brisket and for their ribs. You'd be surprised, man. I would ask you to try to break down exactly what the costs were, and then of course, um, what I'm able to charge for brisket and for ribs is going to be a lot lower than someone who has a brick and mortar can charge for brisket and ribs because my overhead is a lot lower. So they build all of that stuff in. So it's one of those things, man. Barbecue is expensive, especially once you get outside of the backyard realm, okay, and you actually have a brick and mortar, you have a nice established restaurant. You kind of get what you pay for. Did you enjoy the food or not? That is a good question. Alton says he's got a couple bottles of the Suckle Busters. He has not used it yet. No problem, Mark. Pull the bark off my wood and light the dry bark to start fires. And you know what, Ricer? I do that as well. The only problem with that is if I'm cooking and it's light outside, that smoke, it will get someone's attention, and usually that's when the fire department gets called. So I don't actually put any additional um, bark into the fire. Like, uh, no, no. Mr. Hockett, good night, sir. Thank you very much. He says, great topic. Please, I need more base from Taste Tester number 1. Mo Butter Baby. Yes, indeed. I didn't forget Mr. Hockett. He actually was contemplating playing tonight, but the whole thing was I told him that if he wanted to play prior to the live stream starting, that he was going to have to make sure that his homework was done. So he had not finished his homework at the timing of the taping of this video, so that's why he was not able to play. But he did ask me. Well, that's what's up, Josh, man. Josh, there's a lot of knowledge in here. That's what's up. Open the box yet. I rarely wrap my briskets anymore. I get better results on tenders unwrapped than wrapped. It's all about cooking until the brisket is done and not about the temp of the meat. I am going to agree to disagree, and maybe the difference in cooking methodology is going to make you lean one way versus the other. I stand behind wrapping, like wrapping in a foil pan, which is different than a lot of other people wrap. A lot of people wrap in foil or they're wrapped in butcher paper. I stand behind wrapping in a foil pan because I capture the jus from the brisket and I pass that along, or I use it when serving. But I have not, and I'll be completely honest with you, Alton, I have not. I use the temperature as a feeler. You know, once it hits a certain temperature, then I start probing, and I'm like, okay, you know, we're good or we're not good. But I like I won't say big butts. I prefer the wrapped method. Now, again, I'm wrapping in a foil pan and not just aluminum foil. John from Drive Crash says, I don't wrap mine during cooking only because he's sleeping when it's time to wrap. Lep, what's going on, man? The wrapping just speeds things up by braising the meat on its own juices or added juices. Cuts down the cooking time, which is a Texas crutch. If you want to call it a crutch, you call it a crutch. I call it trying to save dollars on fuel. To me, there's no need for a brisket to take 18 hours to cook. Like, none. Where is the value add in letting a brisket take an extra 6 or, 10 to 12, I don't know, 6 to 10 hours extra to cook? How much extra fuel is that? How much extra time is that? What else can you get accomplished? How much extra sleep can you get by not speeding up the cook on a brisket? I'll wait. Like, it might not be again. I sit firmly in the court of unpopular opinion and some of the things that I do, but there's a reason why I do it, and I'm going to save money in fuel by cutting the cook time. I don't understand why someone would be like, that's stupid. What? Nah. Thank you very much, Lep. I appreciate you popping in. I like to finish unwrap also, but I'm in a rush. He says he's doing foil. I did my food cart inspection today. It was the last step. I'm waiting on the thing from them, but it did pass inspection. Jeff, that is what's up. The flavor is more intense unwrapped, and the fat renders more evenly unwrapped. You should really try it and do a comparison. Alton, this is one of those things, man. I would love to, but I don't have the ability to buy 2 briskets and do a comparison. Briskets up here cost a lot more than they do down there, and I'm looking at $50, $60 briskets, and I need 2 of them. It's not in the cards right now. I'm trying to, dude. I'll be honest with you, like I'll be honest with anybody else. I'm trying to get my debt in order, and I am taking any and every extra penny and dollar, and I'm throwing it at my car note and my credit cards. When I was younger, I was dumber with money, and I'm trying to get myself out of debt. And I mean, I'm not in a crazy debt or anything, but I'm trying to get myself into a better financial situation. So I'm working hard at paying those things off and trying to cut out some of the extra. So I'm not, I can't spend $100. I can't just spend $100 to $120, $130 on 2 briskets just for me to cook to see which is which. I don't have it like that. I don't have any sort of meat sponsorship. Sean, I understand completely. Let's see. Mark says, I'm a butcher paper guy for sliced briskets, but I'll wrap and foil if I'm pulling brisket. Okay, I've never pulled a brisket before. All it says, if for from time, he will butcher paper all the color. I want the brisket to be up to about 190 degrees, and I'll pull from the paper and finish to completion unwrapped. Okay. Your wife, like my wife, she hate change of taste, so I have to stick with the same seasoning. You're absolutely right, Sean, man. Yep. Yep. I am trying to catch up to the catch up. Better maintain the bark. Well, Alton, man, I've seen and heard a lot of people talk about it, and it's like I said, I know that I've just never used it for the most part because I just don't. That's all. It's not that I have anything against it. Now, one of the other things too, and another reason why I started using foil pans is because my smokers are so far away from my house, my kitchen, where I do a lot of the preparation, that as opposed to me putting it on an open tray or me carrying it by hand or something like that, it's easier for me to put them in the foil pans because I have to walk 250, 300 feet from where my garages are, where the smokers are, to inside of the house into the kitchen. And my McClaiman, man, James, how you doing this evening? Uh, oh, I see Rick barbecue specialties from Tecate, Mexico. Que te pasa? uh, let's see. I'm trying to catch up. The fire department should be. Yeah, they are used to me, but that still doesn't matter. Like, trust me. Uh, uh, oh, no, I guess we can agree to disagree on that one. Uh, yeah, I see. And that's another thing. Kirk says you won't like put paper. It soaks up a lot of the jus. The reason why I am very particular about capturing as much of the au jus or the jus as possible is because of the method in which I take it to people, and I make sure that things are warm. Like I definitely do not ever slice a brisket that's still hot. I let the brisket cool, not completely, not to like whole room temperature, but I let the brisket cool, and then I would like to slice it while it's cool and then bring it back up to temperature. So I can use the jus to make sure that it maintains its moisture. But I want to make sure that, and again, that's the difference in how I'm serving my briskets here, because my briskets are usually served in more of a buffet type style, as opposed to someone in Texas. I had somebody call me the other day, and I spoke to him, and he was like, hey, I have a question. He's like, how do you do this? He's like, I have an event, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to keep stuff warm. And I said, well, I can tell you how I do things, and you can kind of put this towards what you're doing. And we talked for half an hour, 45 minutes, and he was like, I like what you had to say. He said, I like that you're doing something a little bit different. He said, I like that you're cooking it the way that you're cooking it. And he's like, I like the things that you're doing. He said, and what's crazy is you're doing the same things, but differently than I would be doing here. And he was in Texas, and I can't remember exactly where in Texas he was. But he said, he told me a story about how someone came from a different region and they did things a little differently. And then they went down there to Texas, and the person did something a little different. And everyone told him, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And then when it came down to it, the guy who was from another area was doing something a little bit better. But because of the fact that he was doing it differently than everyone else had already been doing it, no one wanted to give him any time. So what the guy who I was talking to did is he called an inspector in to inspect this work that was done by the person from the other area. And the inspector came in and he said, like he looked at it and he says, this is better than how we're doing it down here now. He said, because this or that. Like he said, he does roofing, and he told me a story. It went over my head, part of it, but he said the whole thing was just because it's different doesn't mean it's wrong, and that's how I feel. I know I sit firmly in the court of unpopular opinion on a lot of things that I do, but it works for me. It works for my customers. So it might not work for you. It might not work for where you are, and that's my normal disclaimer. Oh man, it's not. But see, that's the difference. To me, I don't think it's a crutch. It's again, it goes back to my eating soft baked cookies. I don't like it unless it has a softer bark. So is it a crutch or is it my preferred method of cooking? It's my preferred method of cooking. Now, if you are only going to cook briskets without, naked and putting them in butcher paper, then it'll be a crutch for you because your normal way of cooking is to make them however, to make it take as long as it's going to take. But I mean, my process, if you will, is I wrap in foil. Okay, I wrap in foil because my preference is less bark. And it's not less bark; it's just a softer bark. So I mean, I smoke the briskets naked for as long as I need to. Uh, yeah. Texture different between low, slow, and hot and fast. Rick, exactly. And I don't cook hot and fast. I heard somebody talk about they took a brisket to like 220 degrees or like over 210 degrees, like 210, 215 while cooking hot and fast. I was like, what? Like, ain't no way. I made a mistake. I was cooking a beef tongue, okay, a beef tongue, and I let that beef tongue went to like 220 degrees. And what ended up happening was I put it on a drum and I went out to dinner with some friends. And I was like, man, it'll be all right. I'll come back in a couple hours. Like I turned it way down, but I ended up spending a lot longer time out than I thought. By the time I got home, that tongue was mush. It was mush. Now, again, I've never cooked the brisket hot and fast. Don't want. I just don't want to waste it, man. I don't. Um, Eric says he's with me. I also foil pan covered in the oven so I can go to bed. Cooking with Josh, man. This is every week, man. This is what happens every week. Come on out every now and again and say what's up. I know sometimes you are busy, but we would love to have you back again. Thank you very much, sir. He says this is a great chat. And I'm 10 minutes behind now. Uh, uh, thanks. Yo, tickle? No, thanks. Let's see. Well, Kirk says he hasn't seen the difference between low and slow and hot and fast. Oh, definitely. I'll take a rat because it's more cost effective. Yes, when you're trying to sell smoked meat. All right. Well, thank you very much, Josh. I appreciate it. Scott from Smoked Basics. Well, Scott from Steel Drum Smokers is here. West Coast Cajun cuisine, man. Oh man, everybody's popping in. What stream y'all finish up with that y'all came on and blessed me this evening? So if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up. And I apologize, I am 10 minutes behind on the comments, so I'm going to try to catch up on the comments. Let's see. Best thing about these chats is there are so many different ways. There are many different ways to skin a cat. Well, smoking goodness. Thank you very much. The meat is moist though. You can have dried out meat in the jus. Is the difference in the region. You're right. I feel like this house commercial made in New York City. New York City. Yes. Wisconsin people love the jus for mopping while they are eating it. Yep. And I tell people that all the time too. I tell them, you can pour this over top of the brisket, or you can leave it sitting out for people to pour it over top of on their plate. This is the crutch. I'm telling you, this is science behind it, and that's what's really called. You miss it, but no. I hear what you're saying, Alton. I'm like, I hear what you're saying, and we agree to disagree often. And this is definitely a discussion, and I don't want to take my passion about how I do something to feel like I'm not listening to you. I hear what you're saying. I do, and I hear the terminology is called the Texas crutch to wrap it up. I get that, and I've heard that before, but I'm just saying I don't think of it as a crutch, even though if that's how you want to, that's what you want to name it, or that's what it technically is called. I'm not holding that against you. It's just, I don't know. That's just how I do it. I guess one of the first people or whoever I watched or learned or, whatever I found as far as the information, however many years ago, probably going on 10 to 12 years ago now, they said that, try this. And I tried that and I was like, oh, I like this. Okay. And I never looked back. In the early briskets that I did in the beginning, the ones that were really dried out, I didn't like that. So in order for me to help retain some of that moisture, I started wrapping them up. And once I wrapped them up, I was like, okay, I like that. And that's just how I maintained. And then once I started cooking for money, okay, when I was doing this for a business, me putting them in foil and then slightly increasing the temperature from like 250 degrees to 300 degrees um, to help speed up the cook was an economical thing, because the faster I finished, the more I could cook. The faster I was turning around, the less time I was spending actually cooking, the more money I was making, and the more money I was making, okay, because I was being more cost effective. Um, Thank you very much, Alton. I will try to check that out. Uh, oh, Kirk is funny. Kirk says, "I'll back at you, even though you can't drink with us. Wrapping in foil is called the Texas Crutch." Mike Hall, how you doing this evening? I've smoked more briskets than I can count. Hot and fast, low and slow, all briskety. Well, I guess all briskets are different. If it's texture you're looking for, then that's when you wrap them. When your wraps come in, I've wrapped and not wrapped as well. Okay, Mike. New favorite thoughts on wrapping brisket? How you SS the cook? Like it? Hmm? What do you mean SS the cook? I wrap in foil. I like color. I'll wrap in foil with the color I like. Then at 205, I pull them and burp them to set the bark. If you don't, it'll be mushy. Let it rest for a minimum of 2 hours. Oh, cool. Mark Heller, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Thursdays I get to sleep in. Usually, typically, I'm up at 4:30 in the morning as well. Argument is similar to beans and no beans and chili or meat filling off the bone or slight tug. It's all about preference. Hold on, Alton. Definitely. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. My uh, passion about one thing or another or lack thereof. I don't want it to come between us. All right, I bring it in. Oh, come on, bring it in, bring it in. All right, it's all love, definitely discussion. Pat says, oh, what? I am caught up on the comments. I guess once I started talking, y'all kind of paused out. Um, Pat says I use some mesquite to start a brisket. I do hot and fast, and then I do oak as I wrap as soon as possible to get the color of the meat and reintroduce the gravy when cutting. If I do low and slow, I'll finish in the oven. All right. So here's my question for you, Pat. If you're wrapping the brisket, why? Well, I mean, I don't know. Most common wisdom says that if you're wrapping the brisket, but I guess foil paper does still allow the smoke to penetrate into the wood. Fat side up, Rick. I always do fat side up. I never really like the way the fat side down cooks. I'm about to cook a brisket for a get together, but I haven't cooked one in about 8 years. Hook me up with some tips. I'm a little late to the discussion. Levin, so to be completely honest, man, you season the brisket. How are you gonna season it? A lot of people will tell you salt, pepper, garlic. I'm I'm cool with that. Rock pepper or crystal salt, never any sort of table salt. Cracked black pepper, some garlic, maybe some onion. There are some other, specific brisket or beef seasonings out there. Just be careful. I'm not a real big, uh, like super sweet on my or in my seasoning type of guy. I'll usually let my briskets smoke naked for 4 to 6 hours. I don't really. It's not really dependent on the time. It's just depending on when they get that right color, as Rick said, and then I'll wrap them up. Now, this is what we were talking about as far as the discussion. I wrap my briskets. I like to wrap my briskets, and then I wrap my briskets in a foil pan, and then tightly wrap them in foil to cover. And then when they get between 200 and 205 degrees is where the temperature will be about right, and then you can start, getting that hot, that probe will go in like a hot knife or a warm knife through butter. Then you kind of just look at it, man. If it excuse me, if it feels right, if it jiggles right, you just know. You just know. And unfortunately, after you cook a certain amount of them, you'll really know. But you can, once you start getting towards that 200 degrees, you can poke the 200 degrees in about the center of the whole brisket. You can poke that brisket with a temperature probe, and if it'll, it really will just have a give to it that's, I won't say unexplainable, but once you get it right, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like. This is what it's supposed to feel like. Like a warm apple pie, one of those type of feelings. Uh, all right, so Alton. So the reason why I feel like people come from the Northeast to Texas to learn how to barbecue is so they can say that they've done it that way. it's to me it's a gimmick. I'm not about gimmicks. I tell you, I went to Texas and I had brisket that I could not get in Baltimore, so I figured it out. Did I go to Texas and learn how to do barbecue? No, I went to Texas for my inspiration for barbecue, and that's been my story from day one, from jump. I went to Texas. And I told you before, I had Rudy's and it changed my life. It really did. I could not get that moist brisket in Baltimore, and I was like, I have to figure this out. There's no way that I can't figure this out. Like, I gotta be able to do it. You know how you go to you can go online and get the deconstructed menu or the deconstructed recipe for the Red Lobster Chesapeake Bay briskets, or you can get the deconstructed recipe for Texas Roadhouse or Logan's, yeast rolls or something like that. Dude, that was how intent I was on trying to figure out how to get brisket done. It took me 7 years, man. Like, seriously, legit 7 years it took me to get it right. Now, someone who goes down to Texas and pays somebody to teach them how to do it, they're leveling up on me because they didn't have 7 years to waste. I didn't have the money to spend to be taught how to do it, so I figured it out myself. I mean, to me, that's a bit of you know a gimmick, but it's just like, so if I go and I want to be a race car driver, right, and I can say, oh, Mario Andretti trained me how to do X, Y, and Z. Just because Mario Andretti trained me how to do it doesn't mean that I have the skills to be able to race like Mario Andretti. Just one of those things, man. Just one of those things. Uh, yep. John, it's so funny. I had I had a girl, as a friend of mine, right? I grew up with in Philly. She asked me, when I cook my chickens, do they fall off the bone? I said, no. She said, well, my husband likes when his chicken is falling off the bone. And I said, well, no offense, but that's overdone. Like, you don't want it to be to the point where it's falling off the bone. You want it to have a little bit of pull, a little bit of tug. Now, I tell you that I will cook my ribs a little overdone, because there are a lot of people that is the way they want their ribs. And if that's how you want your ribs, then fine. If you let me know, hey, I want a little bit of tug, I want a little bit of pull on your ribs, okay, good, cool. That means I don't have to cook them as long. I'm cool with that. But there's some people, man, that backyard barbecue is what they want, and look, who am I? Look, they're paying me, and sometimes you just gotta just gotta do what you gotta do. Mike says, I have never cooked a brisket, but I only started smoking this summer. But I do realize brisket is expensive also. How could I get past being nervous about cooking one. Mike, my opinion and uh, what I tell people is cook other stuff. I burped a little bit. I'm sorry. Um, um, so I say cook other stuff. Get to the point where you're comfortable cooking chicken, and that's my candid answer. And the reason being is chicken is less expensive and it's way more forgiving. Okay, so if you can master cooking chicken, now you're gonna have to cook through different temperatures. You're gonna have to cook through different types of wood. You're gonna have to cook. There's a lot of differences that you're gonna have to encounter so that you can learn your smoker. You can learn your cooker, and that's one of the things that people don't take enough time, in my opinion, to learn their cooker. So when they cook a different type of meat on their cooker, they're expecting it to go the same way it did the first time, the second time, the third time they cooked on it. But when they cook this different meat, oh, it's 15 degrees cooler, or I'm using a different type of wood, or it's 30 degrees cooler, or it's raining out. So there are differences in the environment around your cooker that are going to cause you grief with your whatever it is you're cooking. So to me, most people just don't cook um, enough. Enough. All right. So Alton says, okay, good question. And I answered, I prefer fat side up. Um, when I cook fat side down, I find that the fat it to me it just doesn't render properly. It becomes not mushy, but it definitely doesn't render the way that I would like it to render. And usually I end up with more fat than I would like externally on the brisket. So I always try to cook fat side up. Now there have been times when I've turned the brisket over in the pan or turned the brisket over in the smoker, and it just like it just it's not right to me. Now I also will use that fat side as an buffer or an insulation so that the brisket doesn't dry out. I'll use that fat side as a insulator, if you will, because of the way the heat and smoke come over the top of my smoker. Now, even when I was cooking on the drums, I still had the fat side up, even though the heat was coming up from the bottom. That was just my preference. I always just preferred, like, whenever I messed up and turned the brisket fat down, it wasn't right to me. And it wasn't right to me and my cookers. Let's put it that way. No problem, Blevin. The jiggle. I get great joy in smacking my brisket to check the jiggle. He's John says practicing chuck roast. And all right, I agree with that too. Um, what do you call it? Poor man's brisket. Shoot. Or poor man's burnt ends. But chuck roast, you can cook chuck roast and kind of do like a pulled beef from it, and that's pretty cool. Pat Conti, how you doing this evening? No, 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 no. It doesn't melt into the meat. It just it like it's kind of like the difference between cooking bacon low and slow and cooking bacon hot and fast. The fat from the bacon renders away a lot better if you cook it hotter. I feel the same way when you cook the fat side up on a brisket. The fat renders better. But yeah, but I like you might be trimming more or less of the fat off. So also gonna keep 145, 150. There's no smoke. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Kurt, for that vote of confidence. That's exactly it. Alton says, and I was talking about when I went to Austin and I had brisket that I couldn't, and I'm behind. Every time I tell a story or talk for a while, I get behind in the comments again, and I apologize. Alton says exactly that's what people do. They come here and have a life altering experience, and I can attest because I did. Then they figure out how to do it where they are from and incorporate their own flair, and that's exactly what I've done. Look, Rick, guess what? Rick says Rudy's is the McDonald's of barbecue in Texas. Just his opinion. Guess what, man? There's some people who eat at McDonald's every single day, every meal of the day, and Rudy's was now again. This was a good 12, 13 years ago. So there's been a resurgence, if you will, of barbecue spots that have popped up, and I have not been to Austin in at least 10 years. Okay, maybe 7 to 10 years. I'll put 7 to 10 years. And not for nothing, there's a lot of places that are much better, probably since I've been down there. This is about with the cap down for him. All right, well, Ricer, I think it's contingent upon your cooker too. Um, and I don't discount that. Patrick says using a pellet smoker cheating. No, I don't think so. I have a pellet smoker. I have a Traeger. I use it tonight to make some. I went to Sam's and I got some chicken wings. And I was like, all right, I need to get a side, but they have like some pre-made or stuff ready, right? So you can get like meatloaf or like some stuffed peppers. So I was like, oh, you know what? I saw macaroni and cheese, and I was like, man, it's macaroni and cheese. I'll doctor it up a little bit, add a little bit of seasoning on top, mix it all together, and I was like, you know what? I'll grab one of these, and it was one of those. I'm I'm already in the store, and I'm like, I'm not going to do anything extra. I'm like, my plan was to cook wings on the Weber. I'm like, well, hell, I already started the Weber. It won't take me anything to start up the pellet grill. So I started the pellet grill, wrapped up this macaroni and cheese in foil because it was already in a foil pan bottom. Covered it, put it out on the Traeger for half an hour or so. Unfoiled it for about 10, 15 minutes, and brought it in the house and added just a little bit of pepper. It was plenty. It was a decent amount of salt and a little bit of pepper, a little bit of smoked paprika, and it was good enough. It was not my mother-in-law's. Trust me when I tell you, it was not my mother-in-law's macaroni and cheese as told to me by my wife, but my wife and kids ate like 3/4 of it, if not more than 3/4 of it. So it was good. It was good enough. And for $7 for me to have that, and then I didn't have to worry about any of the other stuff that comes with making macaroni and cheese, like boiling the water, getting the noodles out, doing this, doing that. And it was just enough for us. And it worked for me for tonight. I was like, I'm already going to get some fresh wings because I wanted wings today. Like I wanted wings. So I was like, I'm getting some wings. Other than that, like I have stuff in the freezer that I could have taken out, but I didn't want that. I wanted some wings, so I got the wings. And before I left out, I picked up a side, and it worked. Grown Fools Network, thank you very much, man. Rick, I really don't like that term pitmaster. I just don't. I think like people have taken that term and they've bastardized it. Because everyone wants to be a pitmaster. Um, I mean, people want to tell me I'm a pitmaster. I'm not a pitmaster. I don't have any pits. I have smokers and I have grills, or I have cookers. Nope. You want to give me a title? I'm an arsonist. Okay, I will accept that. But I don't like the term pitmaster. It's like people want to call me a chef. I'm not a chef. I didn't go to culinary school. I don't have any culinary background or culinary degrees. I'm just a fat man that likes fire, and I know what to do with it to make food. As reflex starts to rule life, sometimes less is better when smoke is concerned. You're absolutely right, Pat. There have been. I was talking to someone when I was up in New England, and when I was on Cape Cod, I went fishing, and this guy was telling me about this barbecue spot up there, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, it was really good when I ate it," until I was burping it up for the next 12 hours afterward. And he was like, all I could taste was the smoke, and all in the burps was the smoke. And sometimes, man, you can over smoke something. You can definitely over smoke something, and it'll become bitter, and it's just not good. But there's sometimes, man, you just have a bad fire. You can have a bad day, definitely. But Ricer says that's why he quit using mesquite. To me, mesquite is one of those woods that it is it is pungent. Okay. And I just like when I used the pellets, the mesquite pellets. That was my least favorite pellet. I dug the hickory way more than I thought I was going to, but I like the fruit woods and I like the hickory. First thing I think it was that dirty smoke. It's always dirty smoke. Yep, it's always dirty smoke. Alton. Whenever you get people who complain or like it's because it's it's dirty smoke, man, and it makes you sick. I mean, the acid reflux aside, it's not good. It's not good for you. It doesn't taste good, and your body knows. And it's like, nah, we got to get this out of here. Like, nah, we gotta definitely get rid of this. So yeah, cooker, yes, Levin, I agree. He says, doesn't fat side up or down depend on the cooker you're using? I only ask because that's what I've heard. That's my thought. I turned pretty lean now compared to how I did 10 years ago. Yep. Uh, I use the fat as a protector, but it does. So it depends on your where the direction on which your heat is coming, and but I mean the way my smokers are, the way my smokers are set up, I prefer fat side up. I do pulled beef with sirloin roast a lot. All right, Sheldon, thank you very much for popping in. Let's talk beef tallow attached. Do you make any of it? And so how? I recently got a tip. Actually, grind the fat first and then put it in a crock pot and will yield more. So Alton, when I trim my briskets, and I've talked to you guys about this before, I don't because it's a byproduct to me, and I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of extra time. So if I'm trimming more than two briskets, let's say, I will trim it and put it into a full catering pan. Take that full catering pan. Now I might cut the pieces up into smaller pieces, but I'm not going into much effort into anything with it. Again, it's a byproduct. I will get some when I get some. Now I have shoot, I have a gallon of beef tallow just stashed, and it doesn't go bad. It's not rancid or anything. It's in containers. The quart containers and quart and half quart or pint containers, 8 ounce containers, and then I guess is it 16 or 32 ounce containers. Anyway, when I trim a brisket, I'll trim a brisket and I'll put the fat into an aluminum pan. Take that pan and put it in the smoker. That's it. By the time I finish cooking, whatever it is I'm cooking, I'll take the fat out, the tallow out, and I will pour it into these containers. And there will be like hard rendered tallow or fat that's left, and I might squeeze it to just kind of get the last of it. But for the most part, most of the time, I just chuck that, and it is what it is. And so my tallow is smoked, so it'll have that additional flavor, that smoke flavor behind it or with it. But other than that, man, I haven't. Aside from the couple times I've used it to make French fries that have been amazing, I haven't done anything with it. I know you suggested either on a live stream or recently when you were talking to use beef tallow to make popcorn, and I just have not made any popcorn in the house recently. Like my weekends have been like full, like chock full from gymnastics first thing in the morning, baseball in the afternoon, and then stuff to do in the afternoon, or gymnastics in the morning with my daughter, and then me having an event in the afternoon, and then Sundays I'm like, yo, Sundays off for me. I'm not doing anything. I'm not cooking anything. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me about food. Don't nothing. Especially after I've cooked a lot that Saturday before. But the first thing I want to do, one of the first things I want to do is some popcorn. And also, because you talked about the using the seasoning on popcorn, that's one of the things I want to do. I'm going to kind of set up like a blind taste test with some of the seasonings. So, yeah. Pat, I actually like Rudy's smoked turkey as well. Uh, I'm trying to catch up. Again, I'm like 3 or 4 minutes behind. Rice, this is for convenience. You cannot beat a pellet smoker. You're absolutely correct. I used to say the same thing about my wife's outdoor oven, aka her propane grill, because it was easy for her to set up and cook on and do. But to be completely honest, I used to use it a lot more than she did because it was so convenient, man. It's like if I'm heating up or if I'm roasting some vegetables and I don't want to heat up the house, yo, why not put it outside on the pellet grill? I mean, on the propane smoker. Now, since I've gotten the pellet grill, I've been using the pellet grill as my outdoor oven to cook a lot of things. Uh, Ricer says weekends are for cold wood and beer. All right. To me, a pitmaster is anyone who can smoke a good barbecue in any time you put it in front of them and be a custom smoker, EDS, Weber, cinder blocks with a grate. I mean, yeah. Alden says he agrees with me. I don't know. Does he agree with me about the pitmaster term being bastardized? Or no, or he says he'll use mesquite grilling though. Okay, yeah, I think he was talking about the mesquite versus like hickory. Mesquite is just a little too pungent for me when smoking wood, smoking meat. It's just too much. Like it's overpowering. Um, Alton says dirty smoke is you eating creosote. That's exactly it. Pat, so that's the thing, man. You don't master becoming a pit, smoking and grilling, man. You're always learning. If you think you've learned it all, then you haven't learned anything at all. That's what I say all the time. Mesquite is more of a West Coast thing. Not a fan either. Too pungent, for lack of a better word. Kirk, I think it really is one of those things, man, where you grew up using this or you grow up using that, and it's the thing you're used to, and it's like what you like. Oh, excuse me, Dr. Skeletor. How you doing? Oh my gosh. Rick said he once knew a stripper called herself Dirty Smoke. Say what? I, as much as I want to know more, I know I don't want to know more. I know I don't want to know more. Mm. There we go, Alton agreeing again. I don't like pellets. I don't use pellet smokers. Just my preference. Nothing wrong with that, Ricky. Troy, how you doing? Hey, Blevin, be easy, man. Thank you very much. Uh-oh. I like cherry and hickey combo for hot and fast, but birch burns hot, and it'll get you up and past target temperature real quick. Well, I've never cooked with birch, Kurt. You've never invited me to cook with birch, Kurt. Like cherry, see, made from some dry aged ribeye roast. Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine, man, dude. All that trimming you did on those ribeyes on that roast. Woo! I can imagine. Rice says cherry and oak is nice. I like cherry and oak as well. It was a pleasure finally catch one of the live streams. Thank you very much, Blevin, man. I really do appreciate you popping in. Catch one on the next one. Thank you very much. This weekend was an event where you made national hot chicken sliders in beef tallow. Really? So I guess you fried them and then put the sauce on it, like the hot chicken sauce. I have 100 acres of mesquite. Hard to not use it, but I buy oak and pecan. All right, Pat. This shoot. Nothing wrong with that either. I haven't used my gasser since I got my tray a year ago. Troy, dude, I'm telling you, I can count on one hand how many times I've used my wife's propane grill since I've gotten the trigger, and it's been almost a year. I got the trigger she gave me the trigger for Christmas last year. So we're gonna propane smoker, a Smoke Hollow Pro. Now I'm upgrading to a Deep South GC60. That's what's up, Shelby. Sorry. Congratulations, definitely. Smoking Boot says, hey, yo, how you doing? Applewood in Mexico. Wood chips, chunk of steel. What? How? Illegal to burn applewood? How? Why? Uh, yeah, Kirk, I was trying to like I'm sorry. Of course I'm doing this backwards, so it's freaking me out. Um just the TV is back there behind me and uh Joe, Smoking Joe was sorry. Smoking Joe had the TV on behind him, and I was like, "Oh man, that's a good idea." And the whole thing was, I was trying to find something, and I said, "Oh, I don't have my laptop in front of me today," and because of that, I was like, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna turn the TV on because in case the live stream craps out, I'll be able to see it." And it's unfortunate that the TV is as bright as it is, and you can't actually see everything behind me. Fried chicken and tallow, and the tallow is the base of the hot chicken oil. Really? That's dope. Oh, and I was somewhere and I saw somebody that had, I don't know if it was the powder or what, but that is eye opening because if the sorry if the hot seasoning is like a beef base, like a beef tallow base, man, can you imagine all them people who don't eat beef that get this hot chicken? They'll be in an uproar. Wow. And it does give me an extra viewer. You're right, Ricer. Uh, but I usually view on my laptop anyway, so it's the same thing. Jonathan, how you doing, man? Oh, nothing wrong with that. I definitely approve. 74 Beetle. Uh, I appreciate the old cars, though I know I just don't fit in them very well. Rick says he's bootlegging Apple. Oh man, wonder why that is. Like, maybe there's a particular bug. Remember, I was talking about. Well, I don't know if you were here for that, but I was talking about when I went up to Massachusetts to take Tom his smoker. He and I were talking because I was seeing wood on the side of the road, and I'm like, "Hey, can you pick that up?" And he said, "Yes, but you can't. You can't bring wood from Connecticut into Massachusetts and vice versa from Massachusetts down into Connecticut. Like maybe there's a bug or some sort of something in it that they're worried about. You can take a beef tallow and inject it into the trim brisket, and it gives an rich flavor to the brisket too. I'm not a big fan of. I don't know. Maybe because I grew up um, in the crack era. I'm not big on injecting things but we'll probably tell you if you do. Um, but yeah, not a fan of injections. Oh man, we're after 2 hours. Let's see if we can wrap this up soon. I know it got here late, but where's the drink at? The drink's right here, man. Tonight I had two shots of the high test with some soda in the cup, and we are all gone. Yeah, we're all gone. I am the high test man. Woo. Last week I had an energy drink. All right, I was smart. I know that a lot of times when I drink the hard liquor, it makes me tired, especially after being a long day. So I was like, oh, I'll get an energy drink, and it worked. I wasn't yawning. So just like today, I'm not really yawning, or I wasn't really yawning until I got to the point where I was almost finished my drink, or I finished it basically. So, but yeah, what up? And haven't been here in a second. William, how you doing? Cleaning my knives. All right. Well, don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Wow. Don't do that, man. Alton, I'm not going to read that word aloud because I don't want to get demonetized. I'm telling you, man, there's just probably like something in it, or like a bug that likes Apple, that they're worried about bringing into a different ecosystem. Kirk, man, I don't know. This is the high test. Like, this is the high test. Yeah. Alton says, "Hey, so if you cook meat on a Santa Maria high over coals, is that grilling or smoking? It depends on the temperature that the meat is being cooked at. If the meat is being cooked at a low temperature, then that's barbecue. If the meat is being cooked at a high temperature, then that's grilling." Alton. Jonathan, man, I understand. I get tired because I've been up all day. On a Wednesday, when I start these live streams, you got to remember my day has started at 4:30 a.m. 4:30 a.m. and I'm up, and it is going on after 11. That's why I try to make these be done in 2 hours. But sometimes we just, we shoot the breeze, and we just talking. We having a good old conversation. Rick says you're grilling but with smoke. Oh boy. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Once the Dodgers lost, Troy said he didn't care. Yeah, man, my Phillies were out, so whatever. Mm. I know, right? Alton, he tried to be slick there at that half answer. Mm-mm-mm. Oh boy. Alton says hold up in all caps. I'm waiting for it. Alton, any given Sunday. Any given Sunday. Okay? And you should know as well as anyone, be it how the Patriots almost lost to the Dolphins. And don't see what had happened. Nothing. Look, I am an Eagles fan, and I know better. I do not. I don't care if the Eagles have a 14-1 record. That one loss is most likely going to be to an NFC East opponent, a division, team, because they just played down to the NFC East teams. Okay. Um, if you want to say they got lucky over the pack, then sure, so be it. Uh, Philly's not garbage, man. The Eagles always do this. Unfortunately, they they start off strong, and then they stumble, and then they'll get their second win, and then they'll be off for the rest of the season. I hope. But goodness gracious, man. Kurt, no one cares about the Ravens. Troy, I'll agree there. He said the whole NFC East is garbage. And Dallas ain't be the team over 500, but the fans are all going to the Super Bowl. I know. Alton, I tell you what, living in, living around DC, working around DC, oh my God, the number of Redskins fans who believe that very thing. They be like, oh, we won one preseason game. We going to Super Bowl. Seriously? Seriously? Y'all won one preseason game. Your starting quarterback didn't even get tackled. Your starting quarterback, his jersey didn't even get dirty. The starting quarterback didn't even get to roll on the ground. Like, he hasn't been hit yet. He hasn't been tested yet. But you can't tell some of these folks nothing, man. Especially in DC. Goodness. Oh my goodness. Alton, so I tell you, like I tell anyone else, basketball is not my thing. I really could care less about basketball. Like I don't care about basketball. I was telling my sons, I said, I'm gonna be mad if they make me become basketball. Like I'm a basketball fan of watching them, but I don't watch NBA. Other than that, yeah. Uh, Kirk, I tell you, like I tell anyone else, the last time the Ravens won a Super Bowl, one of their losses was to the Eagles during that season. So, yeah. Uh, anyway, uh, man, yeah, they're definitely rebuilding. Mrs. Alton. Gene big into sports? I'm not, dude. I don't mess with college sports. Period. I don't mess with basketball, but baseball, yeah, I messes with that. Football, even hockey. I get down with hockey before I get down with basketball. College football team, obnoxious. Spoken like a true Patriots fan. Uh, all right, Kurt. And you can't use my own saying on me. Didn't I say that to you the other day? Well, not the other day. It was what, 3 weeks ago? And you were like, "Huh, you're right." Yes, yeah. I love saying that, man. People start talking about stuff. I'm like, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Like, we gotta come better than that. Come harder than that, man. So, but yeah. All right, guys. I think I am hanging it up. Let's see. Troy says college football polls decide your playoff teams really bogus. Shoot, man, I do. I gotta get up in the morning, and I've been up for a very long time today. um, very long time today. So, dog, I really, Alton, thank you very much. Kurt, Troy, Rick, Ricardo, thank you very much. Ricky, let's see who else is here. Ricer, I said Troy already. Kirk, I said already. Those of you guys who are still here hanging out, I really do appreciate you guys. Hey, on the way out, if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really does make me feel good and also helps the videos as well as the channel. So I think I am going to fall out because I am falling asleep. And I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so very much for your participation. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me and shooting the breeze as always, except for you all. Anyway, thank you guys again, and really can't wait to do this again next week. All right, Jimmy, be easy. Tori, thank you very much. Yes, now you're not gonna make it to bed. What's today? Today's Wednesday. My video for tomorrow is already done and uploaded. Let's see. You guys want a sneak peek at tomorrow's video? It was one of those fun videos I did with my kids. Let's see if I can. Oh, nope, it's not gonna let me do it. So this is what I'm gonna do. If you guys hang out in the chat for a little while, I will send you. Hold on, I gotta adjust my phone again. If you, whoops. If you guys hang out in the chat for a little while, I'll get the link and I'll come back and I will put the link in the. Nah, just hold on. I'm gonna actually do it from my laptop so I can make sure that it gets done. Whoop. It's trying to. I knocked out the little piece to hold the phone on the top, and it's trying to kick my phone out. All right, give me a second. I will get those of you guys who are here. Since the video is up already, I will get you guys a sneak peek. Well, not really a sneak peek, but you guys can watch the video ahead of time. So just give me a moment to get my laptop up and running. Can't you might, yeah, just a little. More butter, baby. Hey, John's is happy birthday, man. Happy birthday to you, sir. Shoot, my birthday was last Monday. Well, the 14th. Yeah, last Monday. Nah, you don't lose the views. You know, it's funny. Can't you say that? I saw a friend of mine. He actually works in a restaurant that got, no, it was a Michelin. It wasn't James Beard. It was a Michelin award, and so pretty dope. Yeah, he posted it on Instagram talking about, you know, thanks to everybody at the particular restaurant, and he's the one of the chefs. I don't know if he's the head chef, but he's one of the chefs at this restaurant. But I thought that was pretty damn dope. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to copy this. And we're going to come here. Give me a second, guys. I'm almost there. Pictures. That. All right, so here is the video. So Alton, what happens is I probably won't see the views until the video goes public, but it's unlisted. But like you can leave comments on the video whenever. But the views will definitely be there for unlisted video, but you might not be able to see them publicly until the video goes public. All right. Let's see. Oh, says the Astros are gonna cry in the car. Nah, I'm playing. I can't play it on the stream. Y'all can click on it as you leave out. So thank you guys so very much again, and I'm gone for real this time. All right, Sean. Thank you.